What's up, YouTube? For those of you that celebrate it, I want to say 3 things that I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things that I'm thankful for, but I really just want to boil it down to these 3. And the first is that I am really thankful for my friends and family. The older that I get, the more appreciative I am of my family. And I think that when you're younger, you just tend to take your family for granted. You take for granted that this is how you grew up, that these people are here to support you, that they really do unconditionally love you. And for me, that's a great family situation. Not everyone's situation is like that. And as I've grown, as I've matured, and really met people from different family backgrounds, I've come to appreciate how I've grown up so much more. Also, if you are not aware, I'm actually adopted from El Salvador. I was adopted around the age of 1, and I don't really remember anything about it. Obviously, I was too young. I've really grown up my entire life in America. I am culturally very much American. I wish I spoke better Spanish than I do. I wish I had better Spanish customs than I do, but really at my heart, I'm very identify with American culture. But around this time of the year, I tend to think about, what if I had grown up in a third world country? How different would my life be? How different would my opportunities be? How different would my potential be? It's incredibly ridiculous to think about, and it's extremely humbling that I am lucky enough to have grown up in the United States and have such loving and supporting parents and family members. So this Thanksgiving, I'm really, really appreciative for my amazing family, and also just my very close friends who I've also come to appreciate so much more in the last couple of years, who I've really grown to work at our relationships and just make sure that I'm giving my family and my friends and those areas of my life as much energy and as much attention as my business. The second thing that I'm thankful for, and this is going to sound a little bit corny, but this Thanksgiving, I'm thankful that I can do the work that I do full-time. I've spent the last 3 years blogging, podcasting, and putting out content that I've learned about crowdfunding. I've also shared a lot of marketing knowledge. I've interviewed people who have been successful on crowdfunding platforms and shared a lot of resources for this growing industry. And I personally have learned a lot from books, podcasts, audio tapes, CDs, and YouTube videos. It's so cool to me that I can contribute content back to humanity. Like, it's a virtuous circle. Things like books and ebooks and podcasts more recently have changed my life. And the fact that I can change other people's lives and bring to them, make them just a smarter crowdfunder, make them a smarter entrepreneur is so cool to me. It's this huge virtuous cycle. And humanity gives knowledge and shares knowledge, and in turn, as a group, we become collectively more intelligent. I just feel blessed that I can be a part of this process of changing people's lives, even in a small way. Since I founded my blog and a few other blogs and forums, my main website has been visited over 1 million times, which is just, it's mind-boggling. Think of all those people in a stadium, and it makes me just feel humbled that even in a small way, maybe even for 10 minutes a day, I was able to improve someone's life. The third and final thing that I'm thankful for on this Thanksgiving, and this might seem a little bit strange to say this, but I am really happy to live in the time period in which I was born. In this time period, we've seen so much progress and just so much prosperity compared with the other time periods when you could be alive throughout the existence of the human race. We have awesome medical care. We have technology where you can now connect with people around the world from your smartphone device. There are so many things to be thankful for from just living in this time period. And I think that it's a privilege. Most of humanity, to be honest, did not have a great time. They lived in poverty, they lived without education, they lived without basic access to things that we just now take for granted, like running water. How cool and how privileged are we to live in this time period? Also, just to go back to my first point, for me, myself, to live in America, that's extreme privilege. And I just feel really grateful for that. And lastly, we live in an extremely exciting time right now. We're seeing lots of innovation. We're seeing lots of change in terms of the way that things are done. I would never be able to do what I do, 20 years ago. There'd be a huge hurdle. It would take 20 years to develop that kind of a career that I have now. But because of the internet, that is something that has been able to pass. And also in 2016, we're going to see a huge amount of change around Title III of the Jobs Act, where anyone can invest up to $2,000 per year. There's just some other ramifications there, but you can invest upwards of $2,000 per year in technology startup companies or startup companies in general. You could invest in the next Facebook. You could invest in the next Uber, the next Snapchat. How cool is that? And lastly, as an entrepreneur, you can finally raise money in a public way for a new venture or a new product from people around America. It's mind-boggling to me that that's now come to pass, and that is all been finalized. The rules have been finalized, and we're going to see, I think, more widespread adoption of that in 2016. So these are a few of the things that I'm thankful for, but I'd love to hear, what are you thankful for on this Thanksgiving? Let me know in a comment below, or hit me up on Twitter. I'll include the link to my personal Twitter down below, and you can also just let me know what it is that you're thankful for. Thanks for joining me on this YouTube video, and I will see you next time.